All right, so good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another scene for Nightfall in Amsterdam, the Werewolf venue, where we will be setting scene on the Sept of the Riddling Sept of the Riddling Waters, which is an awful thing to have to say quickly, and in particular, in the home shared by the Wild Hunts Pack, where as Eric is getting home, you know what? It's just a matter of Eric's getting home, perhaps a bit earlier from his patrol than he did the day before. Maybe he sternly walked it faster. Maybe there were fewer distractions, fewer stops to just kind of vent out some fury. Whatever the case, we're setting scene with him walking into his room to realize there are things amiss. The biggeroon will realize that his bed has been somewhat ruffled, as though it's been sat on. Not necessarily the norm, considering Helga keeps a very tidy fucking house. And I'd make you roll alertness, but it kind of stands out as just a random thing plunked on the floor. Again, because the place is usually kept up very tidily. And, kind of roughly towards the corner of the bedroom on the floor is this little guy.
He'll walk and pick it up very slowly. It takes a couple of rudimentary steps in. Probably touches the axe head on his belt for himself, if you get me. It's that. Oh yeah, it's there. And goes and picks it up.
I mean, it's exactly what it looks like. It is a very fancy Lucky Rabbit's foot. Really. I mean, it's got the soft plush rabbit fur. It's got the little stone, probably not overly valuable, but it's a nice little piece if you're into really bejeweled rabbit's feet.
Examines it. Where you hold something in front of you, just kind of studying it almost like, kind of ruffles a bit of his long hair, all braided up and shit, and he'll look around, glancing left and right, kind of rubbing the bit of beard that he has, and take a couple of careful steps around, like boom. You know what I mean? It's very big steps, I imagine.
He does. How big mountain man steps. I'll let you roll an alertness because I assume
Sure.
you're making a hell of a scan of it.
Yeah, probably just doing a scan of the room. See what I see. I fail, of course, naturally.
I mean, it just means that there's nothing that really stands out. I mean, obviously that was there. Obviously someone sat on your bed or messed with your bed in some way, shape, or form because the blanket's kind of mussed up. But, I mean, there's no one there now, ? Everything else is roughly where it goes. The closet is, sitting slightly ajar, actually. Oh, the closet, yeah, is slightly ajar. But, I mean, everything is roughly where it should be.
He just sits down on the bed very slowly, and carefully. Just doof. Stares at it for the longest time, like kind of rubbing his beard a bit. Still studying it, still trying to analyze, and he'll reach down and begin padding along the bed, and I'm going to roll an investigation.
Jesus.
That's a lot of successes. That is to look for hair that was on the particular spot on the bed.
I mean, with 3 successes, like that's 3 successes on 4 dice is pretty fucking good. So not only, I'm sure you'll find like one of the pieces of like, bright carrot top orange hair, but on top of that, like he'll realize as he's patting alongside where he's sitting, the place where it's mussed up and whatnot, combing his fingers over the blanket, it's still warm. Like And that doesn't take long to dissipate, just the body heat's,
Oh
on
yeah,
top of a
no, that's what
blanket
I
and a
mean.
mattress. So
I mean, it's like like I said, he's analyzing the bed. Like, how long was this thing done? You know what I mean? And once he realizes that it's still really warm, he nods to himself and begins to look around again, taking a very careful steps over. Even gently lifts up the covers of the bed and looks under. Doesn't see anything. And looks around. I'm just gonna roll a quick intelligence to remember a specific thing that Grace told him from her story. With two tens, um, walks over to the closet.
yep, you
Very
can
slowly,
lever it open.
he'll put his hand there, but he'll move it very slowly, very delicately, as if it's about to snap off the hinges. You know what I mean?
You can do. I suppose the real question of the moment is how does Eric keep his closet? Is everything hung up? Does he have stuff plonked on the floor?
A bit of both. It's a bit of both. Like the jackets are hung up, but then the clothes are all folded up. You know what I mean? It's that type of style.
Yeah, I imagine there's a little nook there. Let's face it, there's only so many places and, a not walk-in closet that a person can fit.
Then just a little. Now he'll kneel down very slowly as he's opening. You know what I mean? So he kind of sets down. So whatever he's seeing, it's at the kind of sitting down level that person or thing would be at.
Let me quickly grab. There we go. Oh god, it zoomed in. Hold on. Not sure why it was zoomed in that far. But yeah, he opens the door and she's in there. She's like obviously kind of slithered in and just nudged herself into the first place she'd fit. So if he's got like drawers or shelves or something in there, she's probably like tucked up alongside them, but it's not that big a closet. She's going to be exposed when you open the door. And she's just in there, got her knees pulled all the way up. And honestly, especially with the door opening, probably has her head ducked or like hand up, scrubbing in her face.
Does the kneel down to her level, holds the little rabbit foot in front of her, so plops gently down into her hand. You forgot this.
It takes her a second. And I mean, I'm not gonna make you roll alertness for it, not when you're down on her level and everything. I mean, even trying to keep herself quiet, the voice, not the voice, the breath, like it's doing that hitching thing that you do when you're, crying. It's that thing where like she tries to pull in a breath and it kind of hiccup stops, and yeah, it's just kind of repeated. There's finally slowly the handle come out to take it.
Once he does, he kind of takes a couple of steps up, scoops quite easily, and just kind of pulls her out of the closet, really. Not with any aggression, but very careful, as if he's taking her like she's wounded off a battlefield.
And there's, at least initially on the scoop, ooh, echo. But, oof. There'll be initially, a bit of like rigidity as he scoops her up, just that kind of tension, like, oh, what's happening? I mean, it's the pretty obvious kind of, again, not panic. She doesn't flail, she doesn't thrash or try to get out of his arms or anything. Just that initial tension as he scoops her up, and by the time he's gotten her actually up and in his arms and gone to start actually moving, like he'll feel the hands like just like grab onto the shirt, just puts her face at him and stops trying to be quiet.
Just very calmly walks into the ensuite thing that he has and kicks the door closed behind him and sets her down on the toilet seat, like putting the lid. Actually, no, easier thing to do. He put her down on the bath, which is nice and clear. Very calmly walks over and she sets herself down and Gets a couple of bits of toilet paper, some of the cleanser that Helga uses, and dabs it on, and a bit of water, and walks back over and just begins to gently rub the sides of her cheeks.
Here's the thing: he goes to like set her down, and dude, she is latched. Like she's latched hard. She's not as strong as he is, but she has a tight hold on the shirt. And when he goes to put her down, like the arms tense to keep her pulled in. She doesn't
Um,
wanna.
so what he does is when he sits her down, she can still hang on to him, but when he turns, it's very casual. He's a big guy, so he just stretches, and her hand can keep onto his as he just, brings the things over. Just when, one by one, still keeping her there. And just in front of her, she'll see him do it. He just sets out these various things and then begins to dab very lightly at her cheeks.
Oh yeah. Once you get her out into the light, she's got like that. I mean, women in movies might cry in the most beautiful kind of way, but no, she's like blotchy and red from crying, and a little puffy around the eyes and all. Just it's not pretty crying. She's upset and has been upset for a hot minute. That if her face is any indication,
Like I
she's
said,
still probably hiccuping a little bit as he like cleans her face. She doesn't protest. She just keeps a hand latched onto him.
yep, it's very done, very casually, very calmly. Doesn't say anything either. It's almost like he's not drawing light to it.
I mean, she doesn't seem that. I don't want to say she's not coherent. She is. She's just not all there. She's still hiccuping, still crying. It's not sobs, not quite. But I mean, there's still the occasional tear as he's trying to clean her face off, and that iron grip.
My mother used to say I lose things all the time, so I'm glad I found your rabbit's foot for you.
There's like a week nod, and finally, like again, just constantly hitching. It's just I, I, I didn't, I didn't want to go to, I didn't want to go to sleep.
Of course. Happens to the best of us at times. Still, though, everything is back as new. Just, gently. The big hands almost, like, cover her half her face. She just wipes down, but it's not done with aggression. It's relaxed.
And you know what? Give me, I'm gonna do a fun thing.
What?
Um, Something like, I guess, a charisma expression?
Ha ha!
Haha, indeed. I'll use
Ready
that
for
to
this dice
see.
pool?
I'm scared. This is either going to be really big or really small.
3 successes.
Oh, that's a really good dice.
Pure breed.
Yep. And let's see if she could get her shit straight.
Technically, with noble heritage, because she knows about it, that's actually 4 successes. Actually, 5 successes.
Jesus. Yeah, then I'm. Yeah, it's one of those things where he maintains such a stubborn sense of calm, and what he's doing is kind, and he's not pulling away from her. He's not doing anything to make her any worse. In fact, the fact that he's just not acknowledging it, that he's making it about something else. She slowly starts breathing just a little more steadier. It goes from hitching breaths to shaky breaths, and finally she starts calming down. Because, I mean, you could tell she was like on the verge of outright hiccups.
My cousin Alyssa would lose all her things every day, and then she would rant to all of us about how she could not find them, and we would have to scour the house for them. And they would turn up in the most oddest places.
Like where?
She once left one of her what was they called? Mirrors in one of the fridges before. How it got there, none of us asked, but it was there. A hand mirror in the middle of a fridge. I frowned to himself like,
Yeah, she like snuffles in a breath. It kind of nods and just that's a very odd place. Yeah.
And then there would be an inquisition over where, who, what, when, how. She would hold them. We'd all sit down when we were younger, and she would go over with a small stick and ask us individually, why would we move them here? What were our motives? What were our directions? She even asked the babies. They would drool in reply, obviously.
Just finally, the faint edge of a smile. She's still got the sad eyes, but
I think the
pulling it out of
funniest
her.
was, I think the funniest was little Linar. When she asked him, he farted in reply, and then proceeded to giggle, the baby giggle. She was not very amused.
No, I bet she wasn't.
The rest of us were. We had a good laugh about it. It's always important to keep things there. So I'm glad that you have yours back.
She finally realizes that she's got a death grip, like not even necessarily on his hand or his arm, but is still like has a fistful of his sleeve. And it's one of those things where you can tell she's consciously telling her fingers to uncurl until she's got it just kind of laying on his arm, which is less strange. You're back early.
Indeed. I suspect if I wasn't, I would be seeing you here.
Finally, like reaches up, not rubbing her face, just kind of like touching her on the eye because it's one of those things where he's cleaned her face. It's already fine, but just to kind of check. I didn't want Una or any to see me crying, or Helga or anyone.
I understand.
I know you don't want to upset the rest of the family.
And it's all right.
Sorry.
What are you sorry for?
For going in your room and for what I said.
For going in my room or for what you said? There's two different things you're apologizing for.
Both.
Why would you be sorry for going into my room?
It's your room.
It is. And you're still a Pac-Man.
More of a nod than a verbal answer. The verbal one isn't especially intelligible.
Unless you're not suddenly, and I have been gravely mistaken.
Oh, no, I'm still in the pack.
Then why are you apologizing for doing something that is natural?
Still your room.
And what was said? He does lick his lips because, again, I'll give this to her for free. He is still a little bit mad about it. You know what I mean? He's not going to lie to her. You know, she can see it.
I really am sorry.
It is fine.
It's not.
No. But that was my mistake.
I mean, she's in no state. It hurts. It's easy to see. That kind of hurt glance. Shouldn't have said it.
It is fine.
I don't know why I got so mad for something stupid. It was a joke. And I regretted it as soon as I said it.
I'm not going to climb on top of you and tell you that what the effects will have. That will solve nothing. And considering Runa's peachant, I imagine what we agreed has been changed in her mind.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
It's not changed.
She talks to me like I'm a child. That is not what I want. That is not what I have bled for. That is not who I am. I understand and I meant what I said that you are not one of us. You are a Fianna, and that is not an insult. It is different. It is different for runes of my people. We're not just bred. We're not just bred to be killers. We are bred to be warriors. We are bred even to be gods. Gods do not reign tyrannical. They rule. We are meant to be a king.
I know.
And to see a king weak, no matter if the wound was glorious, is the most damaging thing you can do to a cub of my people. For the runes are meant to stand against anything, even if their body tells them not to. And I need to stand for something. and to be seen to be standing.
She was just feeling instead of looking. You were still
Well,
standing.
she will learn. He says quite firmly. You feel it, that kind of Fenrir rune tension. She will learn if she continues.
No.
No, Grace. Neither of you do. And that is all right. I am not going to kick you down for not knowing, not understanding. You are different tribes, and both of you, are not raised in this. I'm not angry with you for that. I had asked.
No. Starts like tearing up again.
Do not cry. The crying will only make it worse.
It's not much worse a thing a ragwash can do than break the trust of people that's supposed to be close to her.
Whatever scar is on you, it seems to have its roots deep.
She kind of finally blinks up. Obviously confused. And take a scar.
Not from battle.
Just. We're supposed to be family.
We are.
Don't do that to your family.
You do not.
Don't hurt your family. I did.
There's nothing that you need to wallow over. Wallowing won't fix the problem. It will merely make it worse. Being consumed by it will merely make it worse. Fuck it, I'm gonna roll charisma again.
She's just like looking up. It's like, you don't want me to leave.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. We'll lean forward and cup her face. Is what we do with these scars, with these failures afterwards, and how we repair them and make us what we are. Choosing to wallow is not what you are bred for, not what your people asked you to do. Yes, Fianna are passionate. But that passion also comes with responsibility. To curb it, to help it, to grow it, and to not be consumed by it. And right now, that is what you're doing. when I know you're capable of far more. And that is charisma, expression, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's this? Oh, that is 6. Holy shit. Yeah, she sucks in a breath, kind of nodding. Rubs her face. Just a bit, kind of like pulls the, it does that thing where you like rub the eye and then run the hair back through the hair, run the hand back through the hair, pulling it back, kind of shaking it out. I just thought that I was too much of a burden. And then I couldn't stop thinking about it. And then
you are letting it consume you.
Started getting tired and I panicked.
That's because, again, you are letting it consume you.
I don't know how to not.
You fight it. Every fiber of your being.
Thought maybe if I came into the house, it wouldn't be like being alone.
And it's not. But you're going to assume everything is wrong instead of trying to fix it and take your stand up again. You're a Fianna, not a Bonar. That's some metis. That's what they do. They hide. Fuck it, I'll go all out. Eric's got the power to do it. Eric's got the power to do this. So, charisma, leadership, pure breed, natural leader.
Jesus Christ.
It's the -1 diff too.
Is it only -1?
For noble heritage. It's still, yeah, it's -1 on your social dice. That's two. That's still 3 successes. Cups her cheek, her chin lifts up, and you see the eyes going odd. They're still cold as ice, but there's this odd sparkle of fire in them. It's kind of bright. That makes them go even brighter blue, if you get me. They go this kind of very deep, resounding kind of ocean blue. It's kind of fascinating to watch, really, as this spark comes alive in his eyes. They say your people can inspire the greatest of warriors to keep fighting, to charge when no one other would, to sing when all smiles die, to love when love is lost, and to rise when everyone demands that you lie down, even yourself. Be that Fianna. For everyone. I'll roll again, one more time, just to emphasize the fucking point. Yeah, it's 11. Oh, hashtag. Yeah, it's a metric on. Anyway, more importantly, be it for yourself and what you've done for your family. When they tried to take you, what happened? You rose, became a guru, and cast them down. You did that. Not Gaia, not anyone, not even Stag himself. You rose. And they merely guided your hand. But they wouldn't have been able to do that if you did not rise. Would they?
No, they wouldn't.
And for effect, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.
Yeah, she's starting to get it together. The shakiness is starting to get out of the voice. She's nodding a little more emphatically, sitting herself up a little better. Finally realizing I'm in a tub. Starting to kind of climb up, at least to sit on the side of it. Oh, you're right. Shouldn't have crawled so deep in my own head. She finally looks over him more evenly this time. Like she's really seeing him this time. Shouldn't have said what I said. I'll make it right.
And then go out there and do it. I can only guide your hand.
Yeah. A small nod. Some small bit of distraction. But a nod. She finally starts like rolling the rabbit's foot around in the one hand where it's been kind of just clenched reflexively the whole time. Well,
Well, what are you waiting for?
she finally flicks a glance over, and it's a weak smile. Nothing's left since we fought.
Well, go there and go get some sleep.
Are you going back out?
No.
And she'll take a moment, rolling the foot around in her hand, and try to make a bit of an appeal on it. Because let's face it, she wouldn't blame him for saying no.
What's she trying to do?
I am gonna quickly do roll. Just had to look at what my dice were. Oh, that's tragic.
It's poopy. I try to do, but
She was trying to appeal to his better nature. He's been kind so far, but she definitely doesn't score herself any extra ease in asking.
what's she asking exactly? I'm
She looks
confused by
over
that
and
word.
looks sheepish. She tries to look, more pleading, but she just looks sheepish.
What exactly is she asking?
She goes, "Can I at least lay my head in your lap? I don't want to sleep by myself."
Come on. He starts to walk into his room properly. Hear the big mountain man footsteps.
She kind of gets up and trails behind.
It sits down on the bed.
And yeah, she finally shrugs off her jacket and, like, pulls off her shoes, at least. Just kind of clambers on. Doesn't even, like, properly get ready for sleep or anything. I mean, after all, what's the longest she's going to be out? But yeah, she clambers onto the bed and kind of glances over just to see if he's moving at all or if he's just going to sit at the edge.
Just sits there. Doesn't say anything. Again, he just does these vacant stares off. The fire seems to fade and that cold ice comes back to his eyes.
And she kind of starts like she's going to maybe say something and pauses and kind of frowns over it, just kind of finally clambers over. And honestly, if he's sitting like at the edge of the bed, yeah, she just comes over and curls around and yeah, just tries to set her head on his leg.
Are you going to say anything or what you going to do?
And I mean, she hunkers down there, but looks up, like at the bottom of his chin, as he stoically stares, stone faced. Are you not tired?
No. No, I'm not.
How long's he been out?
A while.
Like, has
Up
he
early.
been?
Up
Yeah.
early in the morning and out we go, you know?
I mean, yeah, she just nestles a little further. She's not going to try to force him over, but she kind of does that little bit of squirming and stuff to set her head comfortably on his thigh. Not looking at him at this point, cheek on the top of his leg. And you've been out since sunup?
Of course. Waiting to see if they will try again. Waiting to see would they attack.
I'll keep going. Just for an hour or two.
I'm not asking you to.
What would you ask me to do?
Sleep.
That's another pause for a bit.
If you wish to hide out here for the day, then I will allow it.
No, I don't need to.
If you wish to hide out here for the day, I will allow it.
Thank you.
He just puts the hand very gently on the one side of her cheek. Doesn't just leaves it there.
Again, she just kind of appreciates the contact for a couple moments, then just without any preamble, just kind of goes, I didn't say it before. I'm sorry for your loss. I really am. I'm sorry that I didn't do anything to make it easier.
It was not just you. This is like the cheek. You know, you rub your thumb along the side of the cheek. There is no need to take all the blame for yourself.
I won't take all of it. She finally looks, I mean, you can see the tiny bit of a grin, very briefly. Not all of it, but a fair share.
If that's what you wish.
Reaches up and sets her hand just briefly on top of his, just for a minute. Just the pressure of it laying there.
If that's what you wish.
I do?
Like I said, you may stay for however long you wish.
You're a lot more comfortable to stay longer if you laid down.
I'm making sure the others are gone before I lie down.
She kind of just looks a glance over to where he's, he kicked the door shut earlier. You're not gonna know the difference. Door's shut.
I'm still waiting.
What are you waiting for?
Till they leave.
What?
Till they leave. He's waiting for it. You can hear it. It's obviously he's referencing his kinfolk or probably puttering around the house.
Why?
So don't hear you.
He just clinches onto the hand for a second. Just an appreciation.
And Helga would tease me for keeping you in my bed the entire time. Smirks to himself.
I bet she would.
She has done so already.
We're lucky it's the worst she does.
What do you mean? Look overall like the.
She just kind of sways a glance up because she can't honestly believe until she sees his face that he's confused.
Confuses all shit. Just a genuine like buh.
In most places they find out two guru are sharing a bed. Whole scandal.
She knows there's nothing like that.
Glad she knows.
She does. It is Helga. Since I was a young man.
This is Helga. I'm pretty sure she knows everything. Everything that happens in this house.
She likes to think she does.
What happens if she doesn't know? Finally turns a glance up again.
Then she doesn't know.
What happens if she doesn't know already?
What do you mean?
Well, you said she thinks she does. It implies there's something she doesn't.
She doesn't know that you stay here on here as regularly as you think.
Oh?
I did not think of a reason to tell her.
And she finally kind of almost absentmindedly blinks a time or two and then starts to kind of roll over. And for what it's worth, she has her head like propped on the outside of his thigh, so she kind of rolls over. So she's like facing his hip, not anything awful. Like reaches over and just straight up, no preamble, like goes for the edge of his shirt to pull it up and see how the fucking scar's doing.
It's healing. No, it's healed. All the damage is gone. It's just that is a gnarly fucking scar.
Oh, is this healed up all right?
We regenerate well.
Yeah, we do, but lifetime of worrying about getting infected. He quirks a little side smile. It's hard to unlearn.
It is.
Jesus, that is. That is something.
I'm glad you like it.
She finally quirks a more of a playful little grin and pulls his shirt back down. I'm just waiting for the part where you and Bosco end up face to face and look at Mascar. It's very dashing. Like, eyebrow waggles a little bit.
Mine is better.
Well, I suppose so. Technically, yours has been made by silver. It's got the little
Indeed.
pale bits.
Indeed, that is why mine is better.
Does he get extra points for his being on his face? You can
No.
always see it.
His will heal in time. Mine is from the thing that kills us. And I survived it.
I still don't know how.
I'm a Getafinners.
Oh?
And I'm an Ulrichson. Nods to himself like that, fucking right. Huh. Puh. Now get some sleep.
Fine. She did, again, the little squirmy thing, like, I'm getting comfy. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
And then it just, park out until she passes the fuck out.
Oh yeah, it doesn't take long. Once she's a little more comfortable, and she's still, by the time she passes out, like whether it's his shirt or his sleeve or his hand or something, there is a cling established, and it is a death grip when she goes to sleep.
Yes. Do you want to call it there, bud?
Yes.
No.
No. We will see you next time. In Neffel in Amsterdam. No.